Hi, I'm JR, and today I'm going to show you how to remove imprints out of a rug that was made by a heavy piece of furniture. In this case, this was made by a shuffleboard, which I just sold this morning. So by using an iron and some water and a cloth and the effect of steam, these impressions are going to come right out. So I'm going to show you what the impression looked like on the on the pool table, and then what I did just a few minutes ago. So here we go. Now that is a pool table, and you can see the big impressions that the legs make. Now over here on this side, right down there, is one from the shuffleboard that I just did 15 minutes ago, and just did once. In about a week it's going to completely disappear. But for now, let's see what we do here. Well, first of all, I'll get a real close-in shot here so that you can see how deep those impressions are. Okay. They're quite large. They're just about 4 inches in diameter, but quite deep, because the shuffleboard has been sitting there for several years. So it's left a heavy impression right through into the underlay. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit here when I go to work, so you'll see more of what I'm doing than of me, hopefully. And the effect of the steam. Okay, let's give it a shot. So the first thing I do is I'm going to pour water. Check if this is hot. Yes, it is. Pour water into this hole. Quite a bit of water, actually. And use this cloth, which also already has a damp spot on it because I just did it with the other one. And then apply the heat. And notice, maybe you can hear the bubbling, steaming. See the steam? Get it good and hot. The steam is set right at highest temperature, or the iron is set at highest temperature. So we're just going to boil all that water out there, and when it boils out, it's going to cause an expansion of the rug and the underlay underneath it. The steam lifts it up, in other words. Now the reason I use the cloth here, this is just a terry cloth dishcloth, is to protect the rug, because some synthetic rugs wouldn't like a hot iron placed on them, it'll immediately melt. But this protects the rug from the hot iron. Okay, so we got most of that out, and you can see the difference already. I don't know if you can't see this one over here, but it's already half out. So we'll just add a little bit more water. The essential element here is to have a hot iron, because you want as much steam as possible. And of course, while I'm doing this, the iron is cooling down. You can see the red light is on here because it's calling for more heat. But the first application was better because the iron was hot as it could be. Now it's cooled off a little bit. Just keep going over that point until all the water is steamed out. Of course, it's steaming out the cloth as well as the rug right now. Very simple procedure, nothing to be afraid of. I've done this many times on couch imprints after we've moved from one place to another, or fixed ones that we've moved into where people took their couch out, or chairs. They're not nearly as bad as this. This is the worst that I've ever done. It's the biggest imprints and the deepest imprints for the longest period of time. And I'm actually encouraged, or surprised even, that it's coming out as good as it does. Now there, it's virtually, ouch, that's hot. It's virtually done. At this point I could stop and just let it dry out and expand naturally. But I'm going to give it one more little shot. So this will be the third one. About the same amount of water actually. And because it's hot already, the water sinks in immediately. And we'll boil that out. Give it lots of heat. Now, some of you may have done this before and you've got some other ideas on it. I'd love to hear them. I'm no professional, that's for sure. Just an old man trying to make his rug look a little better. My wife thinks I do magic here, but there's nothing really magic about it. Just a little bit of physics. Okay. Now from your angle, you might not be able to see it. Even looking when I'm looking straight down on it, it's rather hard to see the imprint any longer. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the camera here, change the view a little bit. Okay, so let's go in a little closer. There's the spot we just did, and there's the spot that we're going to do again, the second one. You can see the difference, the dramatic difference. This is looking, oh, there's some shadows here, but where is it? Right there, I guess. Hard to see. I'll get down on profile here a little more. Okay, go over to here. You can see that one. Now I'll show you this one after I've done it too, and see if we can find these spots again. Okay. Set up the camera here once more. Okay, and we'll zoom in quite as much so you can see a little bit better what's happening. Okay, here we go. So I got my iron hot, it's already up to temperature, the red light's not on. Pour in the water. Put it over the towel. And apply the heat. I know some of you ladies looking, this idea just popped into my head. Notice I don't have a ring. That's because I'm a technician. And for years, I wasn't allowed to wear a ring on the job because one time I was in the Air Force. When you're climbing down the ladder on the side of a jet, there's little spikes on there to keep from slipping. And if you're wearing anything on your hand, it literally could rip your fingers off. And later on in the electrical business, if you accidentally got some wires across there, it could burn your finger off. So I don't wear a ring. But I'm happily married. 56 years, in fact. Okay, let's see what we've done. There you go. That's just one shot, and it's almost gone. Give it a little more. Back to business. Now, because I sold the shuffleboard and now we have more space, I want to give my wife some more space to make a sewing room or sewing station, and so some other exercise equipment that we have over here will move in here, and then she can have a sewing station in front of the window, the bay window. But I've also thought of relocating the pool table at a different angle, and if I do, I'm going to have 4 more holes to lift, which are even bigger because those are about 6 inches in diameter, and the pool table is maybe 2 or 3 times as heavy as shuffleboard was, so it's going to be a real challenge, but I'm confident that I would be able to lift them up almost completely. Okay, maybe hard for you to see there. It's even hard for me looking straight down at it, but here I can see still a little bit of a impression. So I'm actually going to go over this one again. This is kind of a trial and error. Just keep doing it until you're happy with it. We'll put this here. And the right spot. Here's the spot. See, the iron is calling for more heat. So I could stand higher temperature if I could get it. You really want that steam because that's what does the job, not the heat, it's the steam. So you don't need to be afraid about how much water you put on it. Don't, of course, dump a whole quart on there, but or a liter in today's language. But give it a good dose of water. Too much water, of course, will cool your iron down too much, and of course you won't have the same amount of steam. So you use it with some wisdom. This is sure looking good here. Okay, I'll just rough this up a little bit and we'll get a close-in view of it. I don't know if you can still see the steam rising off of there. Let's zoom in on it. Actually, that white is a reflection off of my iron, so I'm just going to back it out a bit. I'll be able to see the spot easier. Now I'll take my camera here, try to get in on these spots. I gotta find it first of all. Where did it go? Well, we can see this one here. Maybe I'm a little too close. Okay, I can see steam coming off of this spot here. So that must be it. You still see that steam? But it's almost impossible to see where they are. Boy, I'm really pleased with this. Better than I expected. Okay, this is where the spot is. Let's stay on that, but it's almost indiscernible. And this is where the other one is. Let's see, where's my finger? Back away from that one. Well, that's it, folks. Magic.